All right, so in this sequence of videos, we're going to start to put some paint down on the ocean. You can see from the photo, tonally, the ocean is really dark compared to the sky. If I take you to a black and white rendition of that painting, of that photo, you can just see how dark it is. There are darker parts in the picture, of course, some here, and some probably some of the darkest darks are down here in the foreground, as I explained. But this is still very dark compared to the sky. So that's one of the things that we're going to need to focus on when we're mixing our colour. Our colour is not just a blue out of the tube, a cobalt blue or a bit of primary cyan mixed, but it's more it's got a base of, quite a dark base. We don't want to be putting a lot of white into this. Okay, so a little bit of liquid I have up here. I just dab in, I don't scoop, I don't need much. I've already been painting just to warm up, so you can see I've got a little bit of darkness on my brush. Now the way I'm going to tackle this is I've got my burnt umber and black and the two blues, cyan and cobalt. So what I might do first is just grab some black and put that into because I know that with my blue, I don't think with the pure blue, I can quite get to the sort of black, the dark colour that I want. So I've got that. Now, as I've explained to you before, and I'm going to give this a name just to sort of make it stick perhaps. I'm going to call this the departure lounge. I may have referred to that last time, but I'm going to do it more formally. So you bring paint off into the departure lounge until you get a feel for how much is on your brush. And then you start to add it. So I've got some primary cyan. The black is really dominating. And I might just put a little bit of white in to neutralize some of that black, and then throw in a little bit more blue. So I'm back at that old situation where I'm just trying to make my first estimate. And, there are computer programs that work like that. You give them a first estimate and they'd solve it and then work out that it's off, so they just crunch it through iteratively. So that's really what we're going to do. We're going to paint in an iterative fashion. We're going to get something down. I've mixed something. So let me have a look at what I've got here. So to me, it looks not bad, a little bit on the black side and not quite blue enough. So I'm certainly getting the type of distinction that I want, the tonal distinction, irrespective of the colour. This could be green. It's more the tone that I'm interested in trying to get. So I put my brush down and you can see, that's what we're trying to get. We're trying to get that tonal difference. I think I've got the tonal difference, but I haven't quite got the blueness in it. So I'm going to need a bit of blue, so I can be a little bit more forceful with adding blue in. I've got my two blues, my primary cyan and cobalt. So cobalt looks like this. I know I've probably got a bit of black in it there. And then if I just give things a little wipe, and just to show you the primary cyan, you can see how it's got a really lovely oceanic blue about it, like a greeny blue. So you've got two alternatives here. You can work with this. I've dragged some of that cobalt, some of that cyan across, but this cobalt blue gives you a blue, and this is a greeny blue. And then by adjusting the proportions, you can move as you wish from one to the other. Okay, I just need to put a little bit more paint down. So I do it like a comet tail. Okay. And my primary cyan. When I bought the cyan as part of the kit, I thought it looked like a purple colour. So I was quite surprised when it came out as that bluey green. The label to me is not representative of the colour of the paint, but as it's turned out for ocean, it's nice, it works. Okay, so I've got some more blue. So I'm just going to throw a little bit more blue in it. Now this, it's a little bit sticky, so I'm going to throw some more liquid in. Just enough to keep it moving, but not enough to do anything more than that. I think that's not too bad. So I'm just going to paint a bit here. A little bit bluer. Look, I'm going to try and be true to my own words here and just have one more try at this. I'll throw in a little bit of white to neutralise that black. Still a bit on the black side. So I've increased my tone. It's a little lighter. And then I put some more blue in that. Let's see what we get here. Okay, good. So you can see the process that I'm going through. This may be a little bit light, but look, we're painting iteratively, so I'm just going to say that's probably enough for this first run. Okay, so up close, I'm just trying to spot my horizon line. The horizon line is really pretty important. So I'm going to show you as a beginner what you might do. If your horizon line's not straight, it can really throw the painting out. So I'm just going to try and re-establish that horizon line that I had. I was a little bit slapdash on it with a pencil and a ruler. Because if I can get that line nice and straight, it will make a big impact in the picture. And by corollary, if it's not straight, it will really, the viewer will sort of look at it and go, not quite right. So you can see a couple of things here. I'm rotating my brush. My brush is like a sponge, so when I push it, it comes through on this top side, and then I rotate it and take that paint off the top side, and then I pull it through again. So I've got some paint down there. So I'll just continue. I'm using this big brush, and I'm really trying to, it's much easier to take the time now to get a nice straight horizon line. Although, look, you can use things like masking tape later on. When I'm often painting big, and I need masking tape, I find, just to, with very long horizons. If I'm to try and do it by hand, it's just too hard. Okay, so that, I think, I've played around with the tone. I'm in the ballpark, I would say. I'm in the ballpark. I think I would probably, once this is dry, put more blue on it, but it's pretty good. Look, in the next part, in the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to deal with these bits of white water before you paint the whole thing in. So I'll finish the video there, and in the next one I'll I'll tackle that issue of whitewater.